Why, hello. It has been a while since I have reported in regards to my ketogenic slash carnivore diet. So, for some of you all that know, I am a big proponent of the keto diet, specifically in the carnivore approach. So, I apologize. I used to post a lot on YouTube in regards to my what I eat in a day, recipes, and it's just kind of like been a while, been a minute. I was definitely more I guess you could say involved through my other social media platforms, which are Instagram, Facebook. And so it's, it just, I don't know why I just did not continue with YouTube. So, because there's a book coming out on 12/12, December 12th, in regards to my just keto journey, because now it's been 18 years that I've been keto. Yes. For those people that say, oh, you can't do this long term, it's not sustainable. No, that is not true. I have been almost 2 decades low carb, ketogenic, and reaping the benefits of this lifestyle. So because of this, I was asked, I think there was a story of mine out there on YouTube, and I don't know why it's not there anymore. And I was like, I remember making one, but I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna update it now, especially after 2018 is when I stopped being vegan. And I'll get into the story a little bit, the beginning, middle, and end of where I am now. But it's been, I want to say, 6 or 7 years after I've readopted a keto diet. So let's start at the very beginning, and I won't try to make this very long because I could really talk. I love talking. I'm just a communicator. I just feel like communication. I love communicating things and teaching things, and So I'm sorry if I expand a little bit, but sometimes you need to. So let's go back to the beginning. In 2001, I adopted a keto diet after literally being on every diet under the sun. I grew up in Latina where everybody wanted to look like Kate Moss, and I had a behind. I had a butt, curvy hips, and hourglass figure. And at the time, it wasn't like cool or in style. So I was always dieting, unfortunately, and I was a ballet dancer when I was oh my goodness, like a little girl. And then when I got a shape, they kicked me out. They're like, you don't have the body of a ballet dancer. And that just broke my heart. So I started dieting. So, and then I started into getting really bad habits because I was dieting. My digestive was having issues. I had IBS and colitis. So I started using laxatives and just getting into these horrible things, as young girls tend to do. Luckily, I never developed anorexia or bulimia. But I was definitely very severely dieter. So unfortunately, as I got to adulthood and I just realized I needed to make a change, right? So I adopted, I was living in New York at the time, Manhattan, and I read, the Atkins book, and I just understood the science. And I have a master's in science. And so I understood how it worked in the body. And I was like, this is interesting. So I started it and I tried it. And then from then on, I was a low carber, very successful. I had 3 kids and I bounced right back from my pregnancies. I actually had low carb pregnancies. I did implement a little bit of fruit during my pregnancies, but aside from that, they were low carb pregnancies. And my kids, all 3, very healthy. I breastfed them, all 3, very successfully as well. I had a lot of milk, a lot of supply. And so I've always just had positive effects. And it was a size 0. I had been a size 0, guys, since 2001. I have not changed my pant size. I'm, like I said, size 0. I still have clothes from that time. I mean, assuming things come back, and and style goes back and forth. Like sometimes we just style is always like evolving, I feel like. So I haven't always gotten rid of some things. I have my favorite items, and I still have some from, like, goodness gracious, in the 2000s, if you can believe it, and they're still holding up really nicely. So anyway, the one issue that I was still having, despite having a low carb, is because I had taken so many laxatives, is that I kept going to, unfortunately, getting like to the IBS doctor, colitis checkups. And unfortunately, I had to have several colonoscopies. If those are so embarrassing, by the way. So just in that process, because I was so dependent on them, literally my intestines were like discolored, like because of the use of laxatives for so long. Now, unfortunately, a lot of GI doctors, not to blame them, they always recommend high fiber diet, plant-based diet, and blah, blah, blah. So they're like, Mariela, you need to try plant-based diet, blah, blah, blah. So, and of course, they're like, so of course, the GI doctors, they just recommend, um, plant-based, fiber, a lot of fiber. And now I know from new research that GI doctors in New Zealand are doing, I forget the name of this amazing GI doctor, where they now know that symptoms of IBS can be reduced with zero fiber diets. So there's three groups, A, B, and C. A, high fiber; B, medium fiber; C, zero fiber, which is just pretty much from the animal kingdom. Which do you think resolved their IBS? C, which is zero fiber. So, but we're going with outdated scientific medical information that really was pretty much old, and and here they are recommending this to me, right? So I was like, maybe I should try it, right? So I go from like being super successful all these years in 2000, oh gosh, it was 2012. So I was already been 12 years low carber with just amazing health, never getting sick. Like I said, bouncing back from 3 pregnancies, size 0, having a small waist. Like, how did I do this? But anyway, they convinced me. So long story short, I became a vegan. And I want to say initially, yes, you kind of lose weight. I mean, I didn't have much weight to lose to start off. I was already a size 0, but I noticed I just got like kind of skinnier, and I wasn't sure if I liked that. I honestly started to look just very, later on I looked emaciated. Like I looked skinny fat. I lost my butt, which I did not believe that could happen. And the thing is, my muscles were the ones that were affected the most. Like I lost muscle mass. Now, interestingly enough, did I improve my GI or gastrointestinal issues, IBS, colitis? No. They actually got worse. I started to look like I was 3 months pregnant all the time. I had to wear like looser clothes because I noticed like after I ate, like my tummy just like grew, and I was like, oh my God. There was a point where I even thought I was pregnant. I was like, maybe I'm pregnant. No, I was not pregnant. It was just the food, because to digest all that fiber, we don't even have that stomach. And I'm not even going to get into this in this video. I'll talk about different things because I feel like there's so much to talk about, and I can't. And so, this would be like 10-hour video, but I'm not going to do that to you guys. I just want to try and really, reduce this information. So, oh gosh. So not only that, I started to like my bone structure, my face started to like slim, like reduce my, like this, the jawline was like, I lost it. Like I was just like this skinny bone. There's pictures. I'm putting them here. I'm going to add all these pictures so you all see. And my hair started falling. My eyelashes started falling. I started just getting like pre-aging pretty much. So my severe wrinkles, my collagen in my face just like was non-existent. I lost like, these cheeks, like the healthy collagen, gone because of the high sugar diet. So it's due to glycolysis, because that's what happens is the sugar binds to the collagen and radicalizes it and then gets rid of it. So when we consume too much sugar, your face is being affected as well. So it's not just your body and your brain. As we know, like, there's sugar is like really the most toxic thing that we could ever ingest. So too much sugar, no. Like that's why even low carb, you have sugar, it's healthy sugars, but I will never, because of my faith or my brain or my body, like ever go back to eating sugar. No, because I know what it does to you. And I was living proof. I looked like a bone. I looked like Skeletor. I swear to God. So funny thing, my twin sister was never a vegan, So I went from like looking like her to looking like I was her older sister, like really older sister. And finally my mom was like, Mariela, I don't know what you're doing, but you look like you're gray. Like my skin was gray. My healthy. No, I was looking ashy, like I was gonna die. I felt bad. My mood was horrible. I had low energy all the time. I couldn't think. I'm a speech language pathologist, bilingual. And I remember at work, I was making mistakes, writing reports that were taking forever to write. Just thinking, like, I remember I had brain fog all the time. I would get depressed. Like, I never was depressed. I'm always a very positive person. I would have these like crazy mood. And that happens with sugar. It's like that sugar cycle. I mean, it's just you constantly need to be refeeding your body because it just goes into shock pretty much. It needs it. So long story short, aside from my IBS never improving, and I just started to look horrible, feel horrible, to where there's times where I was just in bed and I just couldn't even go to the gym, like no matter what. So, and I want to add, I was supplementing heavily, even taking B12 shots. Like this was I mean, I really tried this, guys. Okay. And it was just nothing I did. Like it was just downhill spiral. Like it was horrible. I looked older. I felt just like I said, so bad. So finally, because and it at some point did become like a part of my identity. I was like, yeah, vegans and blah blah blah. I'm not gonna eat the animals, but I was like, literally dying. Like I was, you know, my kids were like, even they're like, Mom, your mood was crazy. Like you were, I was typically very patient. They're like, you were just like snappy. Like you would just snap at us, and more than anything, like I just suffered all over. Started to develop pre-diabetes because of that excessive sugar. uh and I am adding this story. Like I said, I have a book coming out in regards to this journey, and also an Uptime app. They just published me, which I'm so excited to collaborate with them, which is a British app. So you'll get to see my story there. If you have it, download it. I'll put it down there in the description so you guys can go to read my story as well. So long story short, I left veganism in 2018. I did not even know if I was gonna look better because I even had teeth problems. My teeth were like deteriorated. Um, Everything. I was just like, I was like you. I took pictures and I saw myself in the mirror and I didn't even recognize myself anymore. And you know, but I took one day at a time, and it was amazing. Within 1 month, what happened? Like instantly my cheeks, my bones, like my body started to just get stronger. I started to see muscle again. And mind you, I have to say, I was going to the gym 6 days a week actually. And I mean, I was slim, but I had such a hard time building muscle and maintaining it. Within a month, I got my legs were strong. My butt was just like, I ripped my pants, guys, like coming out of the gym because they lifted up, and I was just like, there's my butt. Like it was just crazy how the recomposition of my body just like instantly, and my waist even got tinier, which I already had a small waist. I want to say I have like 25 or 26-inch waist. So after having 3 kids, I was like, what? And I got abs. I was like, wait, what? And it's funny because I had gone out of town to Mexico. So I actually didn't work out that month that I restarted to do, or, went back to keto. And so, and yet my body still like improved without even going to the gym many times. So I was just like, what just happened? My color came back, my hair started growing, my lashes started growing. Like I was just like, could not believe it in just a month. Then fast forward 6 months, like my whole face, and you'll see it in the pictures that I'm going to put, my bone structure came back, my jaw. I mean, I did not know your body does heal. Like after you put it through such really severe malnutrition, because this is really what veganism is. Um, and I'll talk about veganism in babies and children, which is a no. A lot of babies have died for that. So I'll get that in another podcast, but that's definitely in my Uptime app story and also in the book. So if you want to check that out, because it's deficient. Not only that, brain atrophy, like there's a study done with vegan brains and meat eaters brains, and with vegan brains, it shrinks. Not only that, like the atrophy is just the shrinkage itself causes damage obviously to your brain, because you are shrinking, and in that effect, it's shrinking is obviously affecting its a decline, its cognitive functioning, its neuro like connections that it has. So obviously it affects your brain. So that was just another alarming thing. So now I understand why I was always just, my thought process, I was foggy. I couldn't think. Now, oh my gosh, I write reports in 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I mean, you know, it's just my mood is stable. I have tons of energies to work out, and not even have to work out that much. Like, I can get away, guys. Like, I can just work out now, maybe 3 times a week, maybe two, and still maintain like a strong body, abs year round. That is like the most surprising thing, because like I said, I've already had 3 kids, and the ones of people that have followed me on Instagram or FaceTime, sorry, any of my social media platforms know that I'm a pageant queen also. So I've do bikini shoots and bikini events and all that, and you can say it, I have abs, and like I said, and I don't overly do ab workouts and all that. So it overall, those were the side effects of the diet. And I don't want to say it like that. Like, diet to me was more about healing my body, healing like within, inside and out, right? And the positives were all of these things, because I actually thought I was gonna gain weight, and I was like, I don't care, I need to just heal. And in that healing process, my body just completely changed. It became strong, to where I'm still a size 0. I can wear whatever. I can wear a bikini. And at my age, I am in my 40s, and I have 3 kids. My oldest is 19 in college. So, people are like, why do you look this way? Like, that's literally the number one question I get asked every single day. What do you do? Like, women, men. And then, because they're not only like physically, but like, you kind of irradiate. They're like, you just glow. And I'm like, well, yeah, because when you're healthy, you feel good. And, and my skin, less wrinkles. I even have less wrinkles than when I was in my 30s and even like late 20s, which is crazy. Yes, I do. Sorry, my dog is barking. Klaus. That's my little best friend. I do radio frequency machines. That is my trick to staying keeping a youthful appearance. But just the diet itself, it replenished. Like, my cheeks came back out. Like I said, less wrinkles. My face was plumper. I'm gonna stop because he's barking. Sorry, my dog was barking, and now he wants to be a part of the. So don't mind him, Klaus. So anyway, long story short, I just want to say that doing keto and / carnivore, yes, I focus on the animal kingdom. Initially, the first, I want to say 6 months, I ate nothing but meat, but steak. Now, since I'm way past like 6-7 years keto carnivore again, I do get away from with like eating a little bit more, keto when I travel, when I'm weekends, when I, go out, when I'm doing my podcast. Sometimes we were in LA, me and my twin sister, filming our show, Hanging with the Twins. So check that out. So yeah, we have a lot of fun doing so our podcast and all that. But sometimes, we're out, and sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, I have to have nuts, or I have, So for the most part, I'm still 80-90% carnivore, because I know that's just the best how I feel. But I do from time to time, like I said, have a keto meal or treat. Prosecco, it's like my favorite wine that I do have when I'm celebrating or just traveling or having, being wine and dined. Yes, I have it. I love it. And so, and sometimes, like I said, nuts, avocado as well. I just feel like I'm not that, how do we say, strict. I can get away with it, and still feel okay. If I have too many keto products, I do notice, like if it's a weekend, I start to feel like, maybe I need to cut back a little bit. But for the most part, I still feel like amazing, like energy's still there. It's more like my tummy issues, because I know it's not as clean as just meat. I know that sounds crazy for some people, because that are trying to eliminate meat and all that. So just be mindful, right, of just life, right? I'm not extreme in things, certain things. I just kind of go with the flow with the situation. So anyway, I feel like I'm forgetting something. I don't want, like I said, I don't want to make it too long. I'm leaving my website as well, where I talk about it, the books and the Uptime app. And here's my co-star, Klaus. Mister, what are you doing? There we go. So anyway, I feel like I just needed to repost a video of my progress because someone asked me, I couldn't find it, and I know I had it and I don't know what happened to it, so I'm sorry, but I definitely just wanted to tell my story in a little video, my own words. And I know I'm gonna get, trust me, I'm gonna get attacked. I got, when my initial story came out, I had a lot of vegan followers, and oh my gosh, I got attacked, but it's like, I just want people to be respectful. Not everything works for everybody. Veganism, I have seen how a lot of people end up leaving such a lifestyle because it is very deficient. I connected with Katya Arbusov, and I have a podcast that I will link here, who was a 30-year vegan pioneer in Australia who left veganism because, again, she suffered so many ailments similar to her story, and I are very similar, but she was vegan longer, and she literally, like, it was part of her identity that she says, like, she it had such a hard time ending it, right? Because imagine after 30 years being a vegan and then just realizing that it's just not working for you. She was sick. She went through a whole lot of stuff. So I'm not going to get into it now, but you can watch that if you're interested. It's an amazing podcast that we got to do together. So anyway, long story short, yes, I'm still keto. Yes, I'm still carnivore. Yes, it's still working. I will never go back. Like, this is something that that's worked for me, that pretty much gave me a second chance at life. I feel like I've done things like I'm an actor. I do filming. I'm a dancer. I'm, like I said, a pageant queen. I do it all in my 40s. I'm doing things now that I probably never imagined I would be doing at my age, and more energy to do it than in my 20s, that I wish I would have, continued to do, because I would, like I said, up and down with all this. Healed my IBS completely, healed pretty much everything. I don't go to the doctor ever. I've probably have had only 3 or 4 colds in 7 years. I mean, I don't get sick, and I supplement? Sometimes I do. I won't lie. Like, I especially vitamin C. I live in Illinois, so there's sometimes we don't, vitamin D, we don't get that much sunlight, things like that. But when, aside from that, I just it's a holistic approach. It's intuitive eating. I always just focus on the animal kingdom no matter what I'm doing. So that's that. If you guys have questions, let me know. I'll keep sharing my progress, because I feel like I was so big, when I came back from it, and I have all these interviews in different places, Ketogenic endurance website with Dr. Baker, his website. I have tons of podcasts that I've done. What's the other? Oh my God, I've just done so many. I'll try to list them, or I'll put a link on my website, because I think I put them on there if you are interested in looking at those articles, listening to those podcasts. And I will continue to talk about it, because I do feel like it's something that, just, as it's became such a part of my life, it's second nature, that, as people, as I continue to age, people, they're like, Mariela, you're not really aging that much. How do you do it? What's your secret? So I feel like I just needed to come back and say, hey, this is what's still happening in my life. And after veganism, I was able to heal, and really still a big proponent of keto. I pretty much recommend my diet, or I don't want to say my diet, just this lifestyle, to most people that are suffering from illnesses, diabetes, from autoimmune disorders, there's, cancers, epilepsy. Oh my gosh, there is so much research for keto being used in different modalities for healing. A lot of physicians, in my book, I mentioned all the doctors that are making changes. Andreas Enfelt, dietdoctor.com, he's put together an amazing resource for, for physicians, but also for just people, normal people trying to just understand and follow this, and with such success. So that is it. I will keep it short. If not, I'll be here, like I said, 10 hours and talking about so much stuff that has happened, in my journey, my healing journey with keto. So, like I said, if you have any specific questions, I'll try and share as much resources that I can. And I'm happy to help people. I'm also a keto coach also. That's why I wrote my books, because like I said, it was the one question I get asked all the time. And people don't even believe. They're like, nah, you're not, you're not that age, or you probably just eat salads and nothing else. You work out all the time. I'm like, I have a ribeye every day. And yeah, and I get to splurge on butter, which I love butter. And so, yeah, I just eat very, rich food that just has transformed my body, my mental health. And like I said, heal inside, from the inside and out. Because you can look a certain way, and trust me, when I was vegan, I was skinny. But you were not. I was not healthy, and now I am healthy. I am, like I said, just have so much energy to do, to conquer the world. I'm trying. But yeah, more than anything, yeah, I have, like I said, I have books, that I talk about. I also have a science fiction series. I'm very spiritual, so I talk about other things. So I just feel like this is my time to just make a difference, talk about different things. Like I said, that's why I'm a pageant queen. I also have like platforms that I'm working: suicide prevention, sexual harassment. If any of you are interested in that, I have a podcast coming out, and then that the show with my twin sister and I, we talk about all those things as well. So definitely follow us both. Follow both channels. We talk about different things and collaborate. All right. Well, thank you for listening. And like I said, if there's any questions you have, just let me know.